Okay, what does a can of tuna fish, dishwasher detergent, and your mortgage lender all have in common? In today's video, we're going to discuss the phenomena as to why people think about mortgage lenders as a commodity and how it can absolutely destroy their home buying process. Now stick around to the end of this video where I'm going to give you 5 super important ways to properly choose your mortgage lender. Hey everyone, it's the Mid-Atlantic Mortgage Man, Chad Freeman. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome. So what an outrageous example, right? That I'm taking mortgage lenders, myself, and I'm comparing them to a can of tuna and dishwasher detergent. Now, of course, in reality, they are completely different. But the reason I picked such a silly example was so that I could impress and highlight upon you that there are people who put mortgage lenders into the same category as these other two products, which are commodities. Now, there's an agricultural definition to a commodity, but what's the definition we're going to use here? It's the one that says that a commodity is an unspecialized, mass-produced product. Right. Now, I'm not looking to give you guys an English or a grammar lesson, but let's go ahead and break down that definition just for a little bit, okay? So let's take the first word of that commodity definition, unspecialized. Obviously, that means everything is the same. There's nothing special, meaning all mortgage lenders would be the same, and there's no differences between any of them. And the second part of that definition is mass-produced. Now, there certainly are a lot of mortgage lenders out there, but I ask you, the homeowner, the home buyer, would you agree with that definition? Especially the first part. Would you agree that all mortgage lenders are the same and there is no differences between them? Now, the answer might not be as obvious as you think, but for a moment, let's go ahead and climb into the mind of the average consumer. Let's use a different example. Instead of the can of tuna and the dishwasher detergent, let's think about car tires, right? You need new car tires. Well, there's a lot of chain garages that you could go to, a lot of franchises, and then of course there's independent places. But let's be honest, putting on new car tires is putting on new car tires, right? Who cares what their technique is? Who cares how they do it? Who cares what the music is while they're doing it? Nobody cares, right? What you really care about is, where is it going to be the cheapest? Where can I have that service done where it is going to cost me the least? And maybe you might consider what's the closest shop to me. But for the most part, it's really going to come down to cost. And that is exactly how people think about mortgage lending as well. They have put it into that commodity structure, into that commodity framework, if you will, relative to cost. And what is cost represented by in mortgage lending? 2 things, rate and closing costs. Now, between me and all of you watching this video, when it comes to a can of tuna, dishwasher detergent, or changing my car tires, the most important thing to me, yeah, it's going to be price. It's going to be maybe a little bit about convenience, but it's mostly going to be where can I get those items or have that service done for the least amount of money possible. But should we apply the same logic to one of the most expensive, largest purchases we will ever make in our lives? Our home. And that is true, that out of all of the purchases we're going to make in our lifetime, a home will be the most expensive and largest purchase for most of us. Now, when you put it into that perspective, it kind of changes things a little bit, right? Changes the lenses that you are looking through as to how you view your mortgage lending. Let's look at another example. Now, this might be a little bit extreme, but I kind of think it drives the point home, right? So let's say, God forbid, you need surgery. Let's say it's knee surgery. Are you going to go ahead, open up, well, you don't open up phone books anymore. You're going to be looking on Google, and you're going to look for the cheapest, least expensive doctor to perform that surgery? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to talk to friends and family. You're going to do your own research, but you are going to look to find the most experienced doctor to perform that surgery for you because you want the best results possible. Now, remember our definition of a commodity. In that situation with your surgery, there's no way you are looking at it from the framework of a commodity where you want unspecialized and mass-produced. No way, right? You want the best doctor so that you can get the best results. So why shouldn't that be the same when it comes to your mortgage lending? Again, if this is the most expensive and largest purchase you will ever make in your lifetime, why wouldn't you want to have someone who not only is experienced and really knows what they're doing, but has the capabilities, the skills, and the tools to get you from point A to point B through the process above and beyond just giving you a low interest rate and low closing costs. Now, I say that because rate is important. Closing costs are important. I'm a consumer as well. And yeah, it's important to me about how much I spend, but I can guarantee you that rate and closing costs are nowhere near as important when it comes to A, you closing on time and having a lender who can get you there. B, when you have a burning question at night during the week or even on weekends and you have a lender who is going to respond to you. C, when you need hand-holding through the process to look at different loan scenarios. And I'll be doing another video on communication in the process, but man, that is a huge one. You've got to have a lender who communicates. Okay, so obviously your mortgage lender is not a commodity and shouldn't be treated as such simply because it's not going to serve you best. But how did we get here? Is it the fault of consumers? No, I don't think so. If I had to pinpoint one reason why mortgage lending got put into that commodity box, I would say that it is because of technology. We live in a world right now where you can fire up your computer, get information on anything. But relative to mortgage lending, you could pull up any website that you want. You could see rates, you could see closing costs. You can even go to sites where they will compare different lenders. You could even put in a minimal amount of information where they will fight for your business. But how are they fighting for your business? They're fighting for it based on what? Rate, closing costs, numbers, strictly cost. And so that kind of creates a mentality of, oh, the best one is going to be the one with the lowest rate and the best closing costs. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. Okay, now earlier in the video, I promised you that I would provide you with 5 super important ways to properly choose your mortgage lender. Let's get into it. Number 1, communication. Hands down, it is the most important part of the process. You always want your mortgage lender communicating with your agent, but perhaps as important, or maybe even more importantly, also communicating with the listing agent. 2, pre-approval versus pre-qualification. You always want your lender to provide you with a full loan pre-approval where they have collected your income documentation, asset documentation, and any other ancillary documents they may need, and they have to run that through an automated underwriting system. 3, availability. You want to be able to reach your loan officer on nights during the week, weekends, perhaps even nights on weekends as well, because this process, as I said earlier, can be complicated and it can also be nerve-wracking, especially for first-time home buyers. You want your lender there because they are the central piece to the process. You have burning questions, you have needs, you want to be able to reach them. 4, multiple scenario options. You want a lender who's going to give you all kinds of different loan options to see what fits you best. Ultimately, you will decide, but you want to at least have the options in front of you so that you could see everything and weigh them equally. And lastly, number 5, you want a lender who's going to be able to get you to closing in 30 days or less. Yes, there are definitely situations and cases where closings will take longer and should take longer. There are those kinds of products and programs and, as I said, individual situations. But for the most part, a lender who is worth doing business with is going to be able to get you closed in 30 days or less. Now, if you liked the video and you got something out of it, I would so appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me and more content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you next time.